The weapons are in the way. How does this work? Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I have the 1/7 scale figure of Bache or Bache, however you pronounce her name. And she's from Azur, and this figure is by Mimeyoi. I think of all the Azur characters out there, this girl is my favorite. She looks so unhinged and very cute. So I definitely have to pick up her figure in her OG outfit. There are also more figures of her coming up, and I'm especially looking forward to the one where she's on that motorcycle. I am definitely hitting the pre-order for that one. It's gonna look so cool. Anyway, without further ado, let's open this up. I picked this figure up from Ami for about 17,000 yen, which is about 130 USD. At the time of recording this, I checked that her aftermarket was more or less the same. I guess for Azur figures, it's usually okay to wait for the aftermarket if funds for the release month is tight. Who knows, the price may be in the aftermarket as well. Regardless, this was a figure I felt that I needed, so I pre-ordered her in 2022, and within a year, I got her in 2023. Anyway, the box design is simple and small, but what I love about it is the magazine cover design on the back of the box. It's very fashionable and creative. It's like Bache did a photoshoot for this packaging. Opening the box and taking the figure out, I first have a folded up set of instructions. This black and white diamond shaped pattern looks so funky. Despite how busy this looks, it's still readable. This figure comes with 2 blister package, and inside this smaller one, I first have an alternative faceplate, which is a great option to have. There is also an alternative hand part to go with it. Next is a ship weapon component, followed by another component to set up the equipment for Bache. Lastly is another cannon-like weapon component. On to the next blister package. Here is the very thick acrylic base, followed by a sailor cap. Last but not least, I have the figure of Bache herself. And that's all the components that comes with this figure. Now to assemble her. For assembly, I'll first take apart the figure. By the way, this is probably one of the most funkiest looking set of instructions I've ever seen. Look at the design, it's full of diamond patterns. So funky. Anyway, I'll just take her apart first. Her head is detachable, like so. And I can finally remove this plastic sheet. Next is her torso. Oh, that came out quite nicely. And removing the plastic again. There is a pack behind her, and this needs to be removed to get rid of this plastic. This reveals the hole on her back, where the mechanical component will slot into. And that's our next step. This mechanical component has a pack, and this slots into the hole on the back. So let's put this in. It slots in nicely. Next, to the mechanical component, I should attach these weapons. There are holes on these weapons with very specific shapes, which corresponds to the respective packs on the mechanical component. I'll attach this one first. It doesn't go in that easily and requires quite a bit of wiggling to push in. Be cautious not to use too much force, because this piece may snap. Now I'll assemble the other side. Just like the other side, this also doesn't go in that easily and requires some wiggling. Too much force should not be used as well. Next, I'll set her on the base. She has 3 holes under her shoes, and this slots into the packs on the base. The base is a pretty thick yellow acrylic disc, which looks really cool, and there are 3 metal packs on it. I think that's the best I can do. She requires quite a bit of force to be pushed into the packs, and I still can't get it completely in. This shoe seems to have gone in completely. But at the back heel of this shoe, you can slightly see the pack. Thankfully, the base is acrylic, so it's not too obvious. Next, I'll put her torso back on. The weapons are in the way. How does this work? Lost. I had to take out the weapons to try and attach this. They were seriously getting in the way, and they are such a pain to assemble. So annoying. But how does this work? She can't even go in. So this is how it works. Her jacket on this side goes around the pack, exposing the pack so you can attach the weapon. On the other side, the pack appears below the jacket, so you can attach the weapon from here. The instructions were in Japanese, so I think I got confused about which part to attach first. Now I have to do this all over again. After a not so fast speed run, I put the weapons back on. But this time I didn't push them completely into the packs because they were clashing with the jacket. I just inserted them as much as I could. Next, Bache has an alternative hand part which you can swap out. I feel that selecting the hand part depends on which face you want to go for. She comes with two faceplates, one with a smirky happy face and the other with a embarrassed or cocky looking face. To be honest, I can't decide which one I want. She looks super adorable like this, but this is such a fun face to use. I think I'll swap this out to see which I prefer. Here is how she looks with the smirky happy face. To swap out her face, her front hairpiece can be taken apart. It requires quite a bit of force to remove, and you gotta be careful not to damage the twin tails in the process. The faceplate is also quite difficult to remove. Thankfully, I managed to get this out in one piece. Now I'll insert the alternative faceplate. Just as hard it was to take out, putting in is also quite difficult. In the process, I knocked this twin tail a bit, but I don't think I broke it. Gotta be careful with the twin tails. Now I'll put back her front hairpiece. With that, I have the alternative faceplate installed. Now I'll slot this on. She also comes with an alternative hand part to swap out with the respective face. So I'll take off the original hand and slot in the alternative hand. With that, here is Bache with the embarrassed and quirky looking face. Let me know which is your preferred look in the comments below. I am personally gonna stick to this look because I really love how quirky it is. Also, it's quite a pain to change the face, so I'm not gonna do that again. Last but not least, we have a hat, and this just goes onto her head. The hat is magnetic, and it just goes onto her head. Nice and easy. They should have made her weapon parts magnetic as well. Oh wells. With that, I have the 1/7 scale figure of Bache from Azur by Mimeyoi, fully assembled. And in case you didn't notice, I changed her faceplate back to the original smirky smiley face. The more I looked at it, the more I think she's so adorable with this expression. Also, the hand part doing this sign is so cute. I just can't stand it. So I'm gonna keep her like this. I promise. Anyway, of all the Azur characters out there, I think Bache is my favorite. I don't really play the game, but just from her character design, I can tell she has a very fun personality. Probably a very naughty and cheeky one. And that's so cute. Zooming into the details, her face expression is the best part of this figure. I love the big kitty cat smile that she has. They even sculpted a little tooth at the side and it's so adorable. Her eye decals are also really pretty. It's so full of colors and there's little stars in them. This face expression is just top notch. Her hair is also very nicely sculpted. The highlights are very defined in a solid white color, which makes her look very cartoony. Kinda suits the style. Also, there's quite a bit of shading where it's lighter at the top and you can see quite a good transition to a darker shade at the bottom. I like how the back of her hair is sculpted. The strands spread open and it's very pretty. Also, the twin tails are a nice touch, although they feel a bit fragile if you are changing out the face. But just to share, when I changed the faceplate back, it was a lot easier to remove the front hairpiece and the faceplate. I may have loosened the joint in the first round, so that's a good thing. Lastly on her head is her hat. She's wearing a sailor design hat, and I like how they sculpted this golden anchor on the front of it. It's a really nice detail. Moving down the figure, her outfit is pretty adorable. I suppose this is her original character design, and I was initially skeptical about the dirty yellow color for the jacket. However, seeing it in person, I think it looks pretty nice. There's a slight sheen to it, giving it a different texture, and it's also glossy. It contrasts really well with the matte black areas, such as the fluff on the jacket, as well as her sailor outfit. Her jean shorts are also very adorable. I like how the strands of fabric is sculpted, which makes it look very realistic. The belt is also loose, but held in place by the jacket once you insert the torso. Lastly, I find her socks super fashionable. The folds of this fabric is very nicely sculpted, and I like how it drapes over her shoes. The matte white color of the socks contrasts really well with the glossy black shoes that she has. On one of her legs, she's wearing netted stockings, but this is just painted on. It will be a nice detail if they actually use real fabric for this part. I suppose they were trying to cut costs here. And for the base, I like that they are using this acrylic disc. Acrylic material somehow makes the figure feel a lot more premium. It's better than a simple plastic disc. The base is generally yellow to match the figure, and it also has hexagon patterns scattered around it, with her name printed on. All in all, I'm really happy to have this figure of Bache. I know there are so many figures of her coming out, but I think I prefer this the most. But I'm definitely keeping my eye on the one where she's with the motorbike, because the motorbike looks so awesome. And that's all for today's video. Bache is just incredibly adorable and too hard to resist. If you are on the fence and can still find her at her original price, I would highly recommend this figure. But don't fret if this girl is not for you. There are more figures of this girl coming up. Let me know in the comments below what you think. If you have this figure, which faceplate would you use? I had ended up with her default smiling face, even though the embarrassed face was so tempting. Anyway, if you enjoyed what you saw, do leave a like and subscribe with notifications to stay tuned to more videos. Until then, I'll see you next time. Bye bye!